Good evening, everyone. I'm Gail Henney, co-chair of the Poet Laureate Committee, along with Jill Barker. And I'd like to welcome you to the North Andover Poet Laureate Committee meeting on this day, September 23rd. I'd like to begin by introducing Karen Klein, a previous Poet Laureate of North Andover, who's going to read a poem to begin our work today. Karen Klein, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Gail. Good evening. I thought that it would be appropriate for September to read a poem from our first poet laureate, I feel, from America, Anne Dudley Bradstreet, and it's my favorite. This book by any yet unread, I leave for you when I am dead. That being gone, here you may find what was your living mother's mind. Make use of what I leave in love, and God shall bless you from above. The title is To My Dear Children, and it was written to her 8 children just before she passed away, September 16th, 1672. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. And now I'd like to welcome Mark Foyle, the Poet Laureate of North Andover. Mark, you have the stage.
Okay. All right, I guess if I could just have one request for people who are not speaking, if they could mute, it would help the sound, I think.
Okay, so where am I?
That's what I was thinking.
It should appear at the bottom of your screen.
And if you can't, I'll go forward anyway. All right. I'll go ahead. So this is a poem that I wrote standing in the burial ground at Academy, on Academy Road.
What?
And can people hear me okay?
We can't hear you. No, because of I think it's the noise from Mary. I think there's a background. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It's really quiet here. Oh, let me see. Oh, now I got it. Oh.
There we go. All right. Can people hear me? Give a thumbs up. All right, so this is a poem that I did this is many years ago, 5 years ago, I did a tour, a burial tour, a cemetery tour at the cemetery on Academy Road. And it was written in the fall, so it's appropriate now at this time of year where the weather changes. And what's also appropriate is that in my book, Almost Whole, it has a picture of the marker, the memorial marker for Anne Bradstreet in that same cemetery. So here we go. Among the names, standing on this cold field, surrounded by stones and names, we get cold feet, unsure where we stand in this world or the next. Among the stones and names, all we can do is listen and stand in the quiet. Among still grasses, standing stones, falling leaves, among the dead, grateful for any message, unsure what we'd do if one came, still we listen. Among the dead, there's an inside joke, perhaps a nod, an unseen wink, an elbow in the ribs, a stifled laugh, a quieting hand to shush the lips, a secret smile. They can no longer laugh out loud, but they get the joke. They get it, for they saw the whole show, bought the ticket, paid full price too. Standing among the names, their hushed unspoken message, this message that they earned silently is heard. Okay, it's okay. Your time, enjoy. This cold field, enjoy. Your cold feet too, until you get the joke, until you find your name among the dead, grateful be. There you go. And
Nice,
Gail,
nice, thank you.
Thank you,
Gail,
Mark.
can I
yes.
offer one little piece of commentary?
Please.
The thing that makes me most proud in this poem is that there are two places where I say dead, and then the next word is grateful. So there's a secret message there.
Thank you.
There you go. Thank you.
The next agenda item, which I'm very pleased to be able to bring to you, is the introduction of our newest Poet Laureate Committee member, and that's Jason O'Toole. I'd like to briefly introduce him. Jason O'Toole is the author of 2 poetry collections, Soulless Heavens and Spear of Stars, and has been featured in over 100 anthologies, journals, and newspapers. His poem, Samsara, was debuted in the Scribs Art Journal and was nominated for the Science Fiction and Fantasy Poetry Association Riesling Award. He was the vocalist for the New York hardcore punk band Lifeblood, and as a spoken word artist and guitarist, he celebrates with musicians including Providence-based experimental musician Alec K. Redfern and Czech-based composer and producer Pierre Long Corp. His poems appear in the new release, The Rockman. The Rocket Man. How could I forget The Rocket Man? The Rocket Man. Spurious Conversations with Kim Jong-un in paperback, which was released July 24th, 2020, and there are 9 additional authors included in this release. Jason O'Toole, welcome to the Poet Laureate Committee. We are delighted to have you. Possibly, Jason, you would like to make some remarks?
I think you're on mute, maybe?
All right. Thank you so much for that kind introduction. And thank you for allowing me to serve the community, the valiant poets in this way. I look forward to, just basically helping out anywhere I can. Currently, I work in the field of elder advocacy at Elder Services in the Merrimack Valley. So, like one of my favorite poets, Jean Robert Foster, I would like to, can you hear me?
Marie. Marie.
Yes. Turn off my phone.
Sorry.
Jill?
Anyway, like one of my favorite poets, Jean Robert Foster, started the Schenectady, New York Senior Center, and was a author of 3 poetry collections, and great friends with the Yeatses, Ezra Pound, and many other contemporary poets and modern artists. I'd like to be able to bring poetry to the seniors of North Andover. So that's one thing I'd like to do. Also, publishing is something I've been very successful with in the past few years, especially, and perhaps we could have a poetry review for the community, of an anthology, a contest, just some ideas I have. It's just that's one of the, especially now that readings are really not happening except in Zoom meetings. I do see a lot of people getting back into publishing, and people have time now to enjoy reading books and reviews more than they did before, perhaps. Anyway, thank you so much for this opportunity, and I look forward to the coming year.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. Such a pleasure to have a new member, especially since our member Jessica Fortato is no longer going to be with us. So we're delighted to have a new face with new energy. So thank you very much.
And
Now
Gail,
I'd like, yes.
just to comment a little bit, if it's okay.
Yes.
Jason, what an interesting idea. I mean, what I heard was like a community poetry submission collection would be a great thing. That'd be what a great way to involve the town. That's something we should make a note about, Gail.
Well,
I just made a note about it.
let me just say that I have done the poetry wall during my tenure as poet laureate. I don't know, what was that, eight or 10 years ago?
Yep.
And I got nearly 400 poems
So,
as submissions. So yeah, I think now especially there's a great need for people to be able to communicate. So good idea. Thank you. Thank you, Jason. Okay, Mark, you're going to give us an update, if you would, on the North Andover Poets Corner.
Sure.
The open mic, all of that. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll talk about the monthly open mic and also just about North Andover Poets Corner Facebook group, just to remind people what I try to do with it and what purpose it serves. So I've been hosting the monthly open mics, and I postponed the one for this month because I was working to see if we could meet again outdoors. I think the timing is just not exactly right this month. So what I was going to do is reschedule the Zoom meeting to next Tuesday and see if that worked reasonably well for people. So it'd be the 5th Tuesday rather than the 4th Tuesday. But before we get to that, I'll just say, I've been hosting the monthly Zoom meeting, and it's actually been going, I think, really well, where there's been good turnout, anywhere from 6 to 15 have shown up to the monthly. And it's funny, as we're navigating this new space, we're learning that some things work better sometimes if you don't have to drive, you don't have to travel, and you can just come home and spend an hour and share things in your house, but get together with people in that way. So it's kind of interesting. It's going to be something to think about even when we are allowed to meet in person. So that, so that's the monthly thing. And then the beautiful thing is that we have the Stevens Estate and Joanna Ouellette, who's very interested in supporting poetry in the area, who is interested in hosting live events outdoors, which we can do, which will work. And so we were able to meet last month outdoors, and that just was great. There were 20 people who were there, shared poetry. It was wonderful. And I will be doing it, looks like sometime in October. We'll have the North Andover Poets Corner outdoors at the Osgood Estate on a Saturday afternoon. We're going to find a date, Saturday or Sunday. Okay.
All right, that sounds great.
Yes, very good, Mark. Thank you. And I just have to make a comment vis-a-vis your open mic, which is normally the 4th Tuesday, and you said will be the 5th this month of September.
Yes, I'm going to do that.
I've really enjoyed it. Sometimes I see people that wouldn't necessarily make it to the library, which is where it was hosted earlier. And I love the library space. That's beautiful, but we have a lot more voices, and I'm pleased to see the voices, especially Latika, because now she can come more easily. Okay, do you have projects that you have been thinking about, specifically Mark, but anyone who would like to speak to ideas for the fall and winter?
I guess for me, no, besides doing the monthly open mic, and the one thing I didn't mention is that I'd like to get in the mode where I have a feature each month. So that I think that is a nice way to showcase really good poets in the area. And the beautiful thing with the feature is that it brings in their friends also. So we make other connections with other towns through that. I guess that's really the only new idea I have right now.
Good. And Jason had the idea about the contest for the town. Jason, do you have a timeline for that you might have considered?
No, but usually those contests are open for, anywhere from like 2 to 6 months. And sometimes they have fees. I don't. Sometimes they don't. I mean, you could always have a charity it's connected to, like maybe a modest entry fee, which discourages some people from maybe over submitting or just like. But if it's especially if it's for the town, you probably don't want to have that. Although, I mean, you can do these things for charity, which is nice. It's just an option. But yeah, just
Okay.
over a few months, enough time to like get them all in and then be able to read them and have them judged.
Okay, good. Anybody else have a thought they'd like to talk about vis-a-vis ideas for the fall and the winter? Okay. I'd like to make a report and comment on North Andover CAM, which is our public access station here in the town of North Andover. Susan Martin had an idea that possibly we would like to share poetry videos. And I checked in with Bill Roberts at North Andover CAM, and it's corroborated that Susan Martin is no longer there. So if we would like to sponsor poetry videos, that's a wonderful option, and they'd be pleased to have it. But what that would mean is that if any of us would like to read poetry and record it, then it could be uploaded to North Andover CAM and they would make a program out of it. So I would be up for doing that. I don't know if anybody else would be interested to either read their own poems or poems from other poets. What are your thoughts going forward?
I like that idea. I mean, having worked at the library, although I'm remote, they've been doing that same sort of idea where you have people either reading poetry or talking about a book or whatever. And it's a group, people can contribute to this particular project or platform. And it's nice to have that access for the whole community. I think that'd be a good project to tackle.
Okay. Let's think more about when we might like to do that, especially since it sounds to me like we're going to move ahead with a contest. So I guess we have to establish some priorities and a timeline, and that we can hash out, I would imagine, going forward. That sound okay?
Yeah.
Sounds good. What about spring? Spring for the video?
I'm sorry, Karen, is that you, Karen Klein?
Yes, I just wondered, spring might be good for the videos with the emergence of flowers and new life. That might be a very good connection with the video poetry.
Okay, Karen, do you want to take the lead on that?
Well, yeah, sure, as long as someone has a cell phone.
Oh,
Yeah.
you mean in order to make the video?
But I'm happy to do the work with the people. That wouldn't be a problem at all.
Okay. All right, I'm going to put you down as the contact person for the community videos, because I know you've worked with North Andover CAM previously.
Oh, many times.
Yes, so I think you are possibly the right person for that. Good, and thanks for volunteering. Good, okay.
Gail.
Any other, yes.
So just along those lines, just to reinforce it, I mean, that's something that I've wanted to do. And Jason, you've done a number of videos with poetry, right? I mean,
yes. Yesterday I did 20 minutes for Belmont, Massachusetts cable access. I think it's a program called Belmont Authors, but now it's opened up to outside of the town of Belmont, and I guess that's going to. So I recorded 20 minutes worth of poetry, and basically I think we use Zoom, and I've done that with some other groups. There's a number of ways you could do it. You could do upload it to YouTube and not share it except with people that you want to see it.
Right.
but yeah, there's so many ways to do it, but and it's getting to be more popular, especially with there being no readings. And it's a good way for people to see from all over the country to really see each other's, readings, performances, get to know each other.
Have you done anything with, in regard to making it more of a video presentation as opposed to just a head reading a poem?
Yes, there was a Gas is a kind of like a video literary magazine of art, poetry, and music.
Yeah.
Now I didn't. It's a. There's another poet and artist who does that, but I did. She recorded me and put me into the last magazine. So I haven't done this myself. I'm not, but I do have friends that know how to edit things and put things together. I don't know if they have time, and they're not necessarily local,
Right.
but it's very easy apparently.
Yeah, that's
Well,
what I wanted to find out more about.
You should know, though, that North Andover CAM is available to do editing.
Oh, okay.
So if any or all of you wanted to just read a poem, on your own webinar, so to speak, just upload it to North Andover CAM.
Okay.
They'll stitch it together.
Okay.
So I don't know, then maybe.
What about having a committee cam? Each one of us do an example for the community to be able to see what it looks like.
And send it to an ACAM for them to
Yes.
edit together as a collection of separate videos.
Exactly.
Separate. Yeah.
With
Yeah.
separate poems, yes.
I think that's a good idea, because then we could just get it made, and we don't have to have the technical expertise in order to make that happen. North Andover CAM is saying they are the platform. We just have to send them the video.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody interested in doing that? Besides, I hear interest possibly from Mark and Jason. Yep. I would do that.
Yeah.
Karen would do that. Anything else?
Yes, I'll do it.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I would like to do it.
Good.
I can set a video too.
Yeah,
Good.
I think each of us could probably manage it.
Have an interesting voice. I'd love you to be part of it. Bridget, would you be interested in submitting something?
Sure.
It doesn't have to be your own work.
Yeah, no, that would be fine.
Okay, then
Maybe you could put,
go ahead, Jill.
I was going to say maybe she could throw some cats in there.
They may come anyway.
Just saying.
Might be a pit bull.
Jill, would you be interested?
I can see what I can do.
Okay.
I've got a lot on my plate at the moment, but I'd be happy to do it at some point.
Okay, then let me make a suggestion for those of us who can, because this could be as short as a public service announcement and as long as a half an hour or an hour television program. So my suggestion is, let's just choose a date so that anybody who wants to have their voice on the first community access of shared poetry videos needs to send it to the station, and you can send it to Bill Roberts at the station, and you can call the station just to get his email. I believe he's the contact person, and then we'll move forward with that. Am I moving too swiftly, or should we just make a date?
So, Gail, how about we collectively send it to him? Like if we know 5 of us are gonna do it, how about we send all those 5 together rather than each one of us send him individually?
Well, I don't know how to organize that technically, but I can do one myself and send it, and then they will actually meld them together to make the program. Unless you want me to send it to you if you have that technical expertise and we don't need them to edit.
No, I wouldn't know how to edit.
Okay.
No,
then
yeah.
Because what they can
I'm
also
sorry.
do, oh, sorry. What I'm thinking is they can put titles to it. They can add some simple graphics or something, you know. I bet you they would love to have material to work with to turn it into something more professional, because that's what they want to do.
They can jazz it up.
Exactly. So let's just, those of us who have expressed an interest, it's now the
What would you say
23rd
about
of,
is a month from now too soon?
I think that'd be a
that would
good goal.
work for me. All right, let's say submission date by 10/23. Good. Pleasure working with you guys. You know, to
Good.
get this done.
Good.
Excellent.
And where we're sending them to Bill?
Yeah. If you
Send
go
to
to,
Bill,
And
I'm sorry.
okay, fine. Yep.
if you go to northandovercam.org and look up the staff info, you can see his email address.
Good. Thanks.
Good. Thank you, everybody. I very much
Good.
appreciate that you're willing to do that and that we can turn something around in a month's time. Super. Good. The next item is discuss any ideas to promote poetry in the town during the corona pandemic. And I think this community video is certainly part of that. Anybody have another idea that they wanted to bring to the fore? Okay, then,
Not right now.
okay. Latika,
I was just going to say, do we want to try to promote the town, you know, the poetry site a little bit more? I don't know how, but
That,
Mark, you're in charge of all that, but
yeah.
I don't know if there's some other way to reach people, maybe through North Andover Cam having some kind of a little notice about, just a reminder about the group.
I wonder, Jill, if the schools are there. Maybe they're not doing anything right now, but the Monday minutes. Remember the Monday minutes that used to come to the house with the kids?
Yep.
You're getting to the adults if you put a piece in there.
That's an idea.
Not just the children, but the adults also.
Okay, that's an idea.
Karen, do you want to follow up on that?
I'll try to find out if they have them right now.
Okay, and it's called meeting.
Yeah, how they communicate.
And then we have to write up a little blurb.
Okay, good.
I mean, just along the line of what we were talking about, if we do have some videos that get put together and posted on NACAM, then I can share links to them on North Andover Poets Corner, so that there's a way to generate interest right there. So
Good. Yeah.
and
I don't know whether the schools ever have any outside programs that they would put on their website, you know, specifically for Franklin or Kittredge or the high school, so that the kids there could see it sort of in-house. I'm not sure how that works, but we could do some Shel Silverstein and Maddie J.T. Stepanek and, you know, children's age appropriate poetry for them.
I mean, actually, that's something to think about too. You know, you could pick poems along those lines that would appeal to kids or appeal to adults, and then target, you know, share those. And that's a way to make those connections to kids and parents. So.
Following up on that and considering Mark's suggestion, you know, Karen, if some of the readings you want to do include Shel Silverstein and Little Mr. Panic, then, you know, we can think about when all those videos get sent to North Andover Cam, the best way then to stitch them together. Because if there are a lot of children's poems, then we'll make 2 programs. So I'll talk to Bill about that and let him know that they're coming, and then you know, talk about how best to make it work for the community.
Okay.
That sound okay?
Yep.
Okay, good. Latika Konani, you wanted to make an announcement, I understand.
I don't know if it was so much of an announcement. This is Jill speaking,
Yeah.
but she was just going to give us a little bit more information about her inclusion into that poetry anthology, which I think had been mentioned briefly before, but I thought we could revisit it just a little bit. If you'd like to, Latika.
Sure, sure. So I submitted 2 poems on the most elusive and common theme, beauty. And both of them revolve around beauty in some way. If you want, actually, I could share one right now. It's super small. I have put it in the chat, and you can have a look at it while I'm reading. So there is 2 dimension of understanding.
Good.
Here it goes. The poem is titled Beauty's Law. Nature came bearing one dawn, a gift of nature's law. In pinkish sky it was wrapped, and underneath was a fire, my eyes rapt. I ran to embrace the gift. The sun from my grasp did lift. So I went back to the original spot, understanding nature's law, the law of beauty's existence, that beauty comes with the distance.
Mm.
Wow.
I like that last
Lovely.
line, that beauty comes with distance.
Yes. Beautiful.
So,
Let's
so that's it, yeah. Mhm.
Where did that get published somewhere, or is it a video?
Yeah, it got published in Rockport Anthology 2020.
Good. Is that by Bob Whalen?
I
Yeah.
would think that's good old Bob Wayland. Yes. Excellent.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good. I have an announcement to make as well, but does anybody else have a personal announcement they'd like to make? Jill?
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
What
I'm
was-
sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't know if there was a personal announcement you wanted to make. I saw your
Oh, my-
image kind of.
I'm all set. I'm all
Okay,
ears.
good.
I'm ready to hear anyone else's notices.
Okay, good. My announcement is that I am stepping down from the Poet Laureate Committee as of the end of October. And I have a rather full plate with the artwork that I've been doing recently. And so I'd
Gail, you
like to
can't. Gail, you can't.
and so I have
Anyway,
to
go
thank
ahead.
you. I have to thank you all for being a part of what has become part of the lifeblood of North Andover during COVID, with the open mic on the 4th, with the, I don't know if many remember, but back in March and April, we had this great idea to do readings in unusual places. And Mark arranged for us to go to Bulger's veterinary clinic, and we had 16 people there. Even a family came with this huge dog. It looked
They're
more like a
Newfie.
horse.
They're
Yes.
beautiful Newfoundland.
Yes. And, we sang and we did poetry. So you've really, Mark, I have to hand it to you, especially with your ability to, keep the website current and to make people know that poetry is important to this town. So I want to thank all of you for being a part of it.
Well,
thanks,
this is
Gail.
going to be a challenge going forward without you. That's for sure. You've been incredible. I can understand why sometimes we need to make changes in our lives. If you can't be persuaded otherwise, I'll say thank you so very much, Gail. It's been a joy and a pleasure to have you leading us. Often we go astray and you gather us back up.
Right.
So thanks so much. I'm so
Yeah.
sad to hear
Well-
that, though.
Well,
Well,
the art world's gain is our loss right now. But you'll be
Oh.
back.
Yeah. And
Um,
you'll be here, right? You're not moving, right?
No.
No. I will
You?
be here, and I will talk with Bill Roberts about, you know, we will be making videos and sending them to him and doing all those things. So yes, and I will still be there on your fourth Tuesday open mics. So please keep me in the loop. Good. And
So-
Jill Barker, you are
Yeah.
an excellent co-chair. You are the one who works with the town, who sends out the emails to everyone, who gets our schedules together so we can actually have a meeting, which is really a labor. And I have appreciated that for several years now. So thank you very much.
Well, you're very welcome. I hope to keep those tasks my purview, and we'll have to discuss offline how we want to go forward in terms of having someone that could replace you.
Yeah, and Gail, if I can say, when you asked if I wanted to be poet laureate, I knew that the thing that would make it easy would be having a great poet laureate committee, absolutely, and having that kind of support. So it's been wonderful having you be the kind of the point person as the organizer for the poet laureate committee. So
Well,
you can come back anytime.
And
Thank
Jill and
Tough-
Gail always work well together. Very
Tough shoes to fill, that's for sure. We've got a challenge here.
Well, you have a lot of talented people on that committee, and I have no fear that there's a lot of energy there to move forward. But thank you for
Well,
your kind remarks.
And I guess we have some spots to fill. You know, we can look for other people and try to fill those spots.
Well, and you should be aware that since I spoke with the selectmen and was able to open up not just North Andover, but any community that had a poet who was interested in joining, that, you know, now we have voices. We have Latika Karnani from outside of North Andover. Bridget, are you in the town now, or are you elsewhere?
I live outside of North Andover.
Yes, well, I mean, you know, and this was great to bring your expertise in
And
as
so
a.
is Marie. Marie's way outside of North Andover.
But that gives us lots of options, especially with what Mark is doing with the open mic on the fourth Tuesday. We see a lot of people's faces who may be interested in coming.
Right.
That's an excellent point. You know, we haven't really sought people from other quarters, but now we have that opportunity. And thanks that
Exactly.
you got the ball rolling
And-
on that. That's great.
Actually, Jessica Fortato, who was the children's librarian in Middleton, she was not a North Andover resident. So, you know, we've been aware of that, but I think now's a great time to, when people are looking for stuff to do, that maybe they would really like to have a hand in the growth of poetry in this town.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other business, including announcements for other upcoming poetry events, either in this town or elsewhere?
The only thing I was going to mention, and it's not really a local events of any sort, but I came across the Foyle Young Poets of the Year Winners Collection the other day. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that. It's Foyle.
Could you say that again, Jill? Yeah, Foyle.
It's Foyle, Foyle. And I can send the link to everyone to have a look at that. I loved the poems.
Okay.
So it is the Foyle Young Poets of the Year Winners Collection. There's maybe 10 at the most. I can't recall how many. And the link, the URL is poetryarchive.org/collections/Foyle Young Poets of the Year. But I can send that link to everybody too.
Okay.
But it's under the poetryarchive.org site.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
Please. And this is young poets, you're saying?
Yes, Foyle Young Poets of the Year. And it appears to be a British organization. I guess maybe that's why I hadn't heard of it. Maybe that's why you haven't heard of it. Nonetheless, poetry is universal. So
Yeah.
it's a great collection.
Good. I have an announcement. I interviewed Kathy Aponic, who is a resident of Andover. She released this book in celebration of National Poetry Month, and it's called The Descendants Notebook. And I interviewed her on my television program right now, and it will air until October the 8th in Andover, Methuen, and North Andover. It's already finished its run in Haverhill. So if
It's an
anybody wants,
excellent program. Excellent.
thank you. In North Andover, it's on Comcast Channel 22 and Verizon 24. And if you have any question as to the times, I don't want to take anybody's time now to go through all the times when it shows, but you can contact North Andover CAM, and it repeats at least 5 times a week, the show that I do. So she has written about her history, but it's a call to action as well. And given COVID and the coming election, I think that's something that I'm wanting to promote. So I invite you to listen to Kathy Aponic as she reads some of her poems and we talk about poetry.
And of course, it's on haverhillcommunitytv.org. And there, I just did a quick search there. There's the link.
Great.
In the chat.
Good. I tape it at Haverhill. That's the studio I work out of. And then I take it to the other stations as well. Thank you.
Nice.
Very good.
Can you just repeat what the name of that book, her book was? I missed it.
Yes, it's called The Descendants Notebook.
Thank you.
And her name is Kathy Aponic.
Right.
Aponick.
Yeah, we should get her involved.
Well, I thought of that. She might very well be interested in doing that.
And maybe
she
Helena.
Ooh.
I'm not sure if Helena would. Helena Minton has been a member of our Poet Laureate Committee previously.
Right.
So I don't know what her time needs are. But Mark, if you were looking for a headliner on open mic on the 4th Tuesday, she might want to read from her book. Excuse me. Okay. Anything else we need to discuss before we set the next meeting date and appoint a secretary for today's meeting? Okay, does anybody have a suggestion as to when you would like to meet next?
Well, would you like to do it before Gail leaves? Or is that too close? That's too close.
I don't think there's any need to do that. And
Right,
what I may
okay.
do with your next meeting, if you'll invite me, or let me know when it's on North Andover Cam, I'll just watch it on the television. So you guys can think about that and let me know.
Mark, did you want to say something? It seems like you may be on mute. I'm not sure.
Oh, I am on mute. Sorry. I was just thinking it might be good to meet, I would say it'd be good to meet sometime before Christmas. Maybe like before Thanksgiving, just to set it so that we have a meeting, we see what's happening, what we want to do next. I don't think we have to meet monthly, but I think every couple months is a good cycle, 2 or 3 months,
Okay.
I would agree. Then we could follow up on the videos that people will be sending to North Andover Cam.
Right. And we can talk about the thousands of views that they've had, like how they've gone viral, and we've captured the imagination of our country.
Yep. They've gone all over the world.
Go for it. Wonderful. Okay. Do you have
I'm
a
talking about Jason here.
do you have a calendar at hand, Mark? You want to choose a date?
Yeah, how is Wednesday, November 18th?
That seems okay.
It's fine.
Good.
I
And my
think Thanksgiving is the
expectation,
26th. Sorry.
right. My expectation is it will be done the same way that we're doing it now, which is with Google Meet through North Andover CAM, so that the community can be apprised of what we're doing. And this is a real opportunity by having this time to talk about upcoming events and also to announce events that will be happening imminently. So something to consider there. Does anybody want to volunteer to be the secretary for today's meeting?
Actually, you're saying for today's, isn't Jill the secretary for today's meeting? Today's meeting.
No,
Can you hear me?
we usually do, somebody volunteers. I did it last time we met. Somebody just volunteers.
I can't. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes,
You can hear me?
Yes.
yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I've lost my mute button here. So I wasn't sure if I was on or not. I have taken notes. They're very kind of hit or miss, but I believe I could probably review this listen to it again and fill in the blanks. So I would be able to do that this time around. So did you hear
Good.
that?
Jill, if you have, yes.
I don't know
Jill,
why
if
my.
you have any questions,
I'm sorry. Yes.
if you have any questions, I have some notes here as well. Just contact me.
I will.
Okay. Anything that we need to share before Jason reads a closing poem?
No, just
Okay.
welcome and thanks for speaking, Jason. It's nice to have you on board.
Yes. Yes. And now, for those of us who are listening via North Andover CAM to our audio, the next voice you'll hear is that of Jason O'Toole, who is the newest member of the Poet Laureate Committee.
Thank you. And I'd like to read in closing a poem by the poet David Ignatow from his collection Rescue the Dead from 1968. The poem is Anew. Dante forgot to say, "Thank you, Lord, for sending me to hell. I find myself happier than when I was ignorant. I am left helpless, but more cheerful. Nothing could be worse than to start ignorant again. And so, I look to you to help me love my life anew." Thank you.
Oh, wow. Excellent.
That was wonderful.
It's really nice.
Thank you.
Oh, woo!
Yep.
Thank you.
What is the title of that poem
Okay.
again?
Anu?
Anew, ANEW.
Yeah.
It's I just thought with all the things we're going through, it kind of was very suitable.
Yes. And also Latika's poem about beauty.
Yeah.
Because we have to find
It
it
was beautiful.
wherever we can.
And Jason, who's the author of Anew?
Here we are. David Ignatow. He was a Brooklyn-born poet. He actually worked at a state hospital for a while, and then got into academics way later in life. But
Okay. All right.
Good.
And you said he wrote it in 1968.
that's one of his later poems from '68. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was when we had the last upheaval of our country the way we are living through right now.
Right.
It fits. Very good choice.
Yeah. Thanks.
Well, thank you all for attending. Thank you for being part of the Poet Laureate Committee. And I look forward to hearing about all the wonderful things that you're going to do going forward. I would now like to adjourn the meeting. And it is now 7:50. Thank you everyone for joining the Poet Laureate Committee on North Andover CAM.